Hey there, this is my first YouTube video about this garage that I'm doing, and just want to kind of catch you up on how I got to where I'm at right now. So I bought this place about 2 years ago. It's a 1977 bungalow, and this is a detached garage. Was built probably shortly after that. It's 23 feet by 25 feet, so that's 575 square feet. So I like the size of it. That's kind of what sold me on the whole property, is the potential that I could have a shop like this. But it wasn't an insulated shop, so it wasn't good to work in the winter. The electrical wasn't that great, but everything else was still good. There was no leaks in the roof. The foundation, this pad here is still pretty good. So everything in that frame was salvageable. What I've done to this point is I got electricians in. I got the electricians to wire everything, and they gave me a better idea of what kind of electrical capabilities I was at this property, because I had different people say different things of what I could actually get in here. But I'm going to end up with a 100 amp breaker there. I got 240 over by the door here, and I got a multitude of outlets. I got 4 lights, so I'm going to have a decent amount of lighting. The walls, I ended up insulating all those myself, so that's all fiberglass insulation on the walls. Put up vapor barrier, and then the OSB. I put in collar ties running. They run all this way here, so I got about 11 collar ties in. Uh, Once I got all that to that point, then I had people come out. They spray foamed it, so it's all spray foamed up above here. And then I got to putting up the OSB on the ceiling here. And that's pretty much where most of the footage picks up, because I didn't really intend on filming any of this. It's just once I got pretty much to the point of putting the OSB up on the roof, I thought, heck, I should probably start filming it and showing what I've got, because I wanted to. I've wanted to film and show something on a YouTube video for a long time, and I just never got around to it. So finally found the motivation and got it to that point. All the footage I did was all time lapse. So before we look at that, I'll kind of explain what's going on, because you can't really see it. I didn't do a really good job of showing that at the time. But I had essentially 2 blocks that I used. I used one block that I screw onto the collar ties, or if there was, like, sometimes there'd be OSB and then the collar ties underneath it, but I found wherever that was, I'd screw that in, and that'd be kind of like my landing, like a dog kind of a thing. And then on the other side, I put this, and I'd screw it in like that with one screw. So then I could just take the OSB sheet, I'd put it up, rest it on the scaffolding. Once it was on the scaffolding, I'd pick it up, and then I'd land it in this piece, because this piece isn't shifting or going anywhere. I'd land it in there, and then I'd hold up the one side, I'd reach over, and then I would turn this and lock that in, and then I was hands free, and the piece just sat in there. So that's how I managed to, just with the scaffolding by myself, get all the OSB up and dry fit everything, because that's the only way I thought of that I could get it all done. I could have maybe done it with a drywall lift, but I think the way that I came up with was actually probably easier than the drywall lift, because I still needed to get up and down all the time anyways. So that just kind of was the easiest way to get around everything. I think that's about it for all I got to catch you up on. I'm going to throw some footage up of stuff I captured, just that wasn't really shot with the intention of putting it in a YouTube video, but still give you an idea of where I started a little bit. Show some footage of me actually getting the ceiling up, because it was probably one of the hardest parts of doing everything, was getting the OSB up on the ceiling. And I went with OSB for this whole thing because I just liked it. It was basically 12 bucks for a 4x8 sheet to cover all of this. I never kept the cost breakdown of it either, so I have no idea how far in cost wise I am just to get it to this point here. But it's a decent amount to get it to this point. But yeah, once it's all painted, it'll be good. And it's easier than drywall. and it's more durable. So I just like the idea of it. And I think as it stands right now, it looks good, but it'll look even better in here once I get it painted all white. So yeah, show you the rest of what I did there now. So I just wanted to give you a better idea. I'm over here in the corner by the electrical panel, and you can kind of see it a little bit better now when I pan around. And I'll give you a close-up of what I'm talking about with up here. So like, I tried to cope out and make all those as tight as I could. And then obviously the outlet up there, I have to do like there. And then the far ends too, like the way that they framed it, that just kind of protrudes. So I'd notch out all that, made that knockout for the fan. But yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of different outlets. They got outlets there, so they got like a 2-gang or the 4-gang, and then a 2-gang. Same thing like there. Over there, that's where the 240 is gonna be. And that's another reason why I went with the OSB. So I just screwed a couple screws in there, and then I'm able to just hang those lights up. You don't have to really, you don't even have to think about anything then. Just wherever you want it, you can just put it. Yeah, same on that wall. They put a bunch of outlets. And then even above here, they got outlets there. They got outlets there. That's where the woods, the pellet stove, which I got right over there, that's where that's going to reside. Other than that, the rest of the layout, I'm not quite sure. I think this wall here, I'm going to have ultimately going to be more woodworking stuff. And then this wall here, given that I got the 240 over there, I'm going to have like metal working and mechanic stuff over here. And then the back wall, I don't know, I might just leave that bench there. I don't know, or I might try to really minimize how much stuff I have here and try to keep things to each side of the wall. But also that door is going. I got a new door coming too, but that's going to be a little while. Okay, so this is the time lapse section. You'll be able to see here in a little bit, I put up those blocks. I'm putting them on there now. And then that just gives me that ease and ability to just lift it onto the scaffolding like you've seen. And I just slide it over, put it into those 2 blocks that kind of act like a dog and a wedge system. And then I'm able to reach back to the other side and then flip those other blocks around, and then it just holds it right there. And then I'm able to check, because like the 4x8 sheet's square, but that place it's got to go isn't. So I'm able to just take off a little bit. I'm able to see like which side I got to take maybe 1/8 of an inch off of one corner and then taper it down to nothing. And I'm able to really dial it in a lot easier. That's why I say, like with a drywall lift, the lift is kind of in the way, and I'd have to just move the ladders or the scaffolding around and get up and down. This one here, I'm able to just lift it up onto the scaffolding and then up into the position, and then I'm able to get around and look and see what I have to do. And then you can see like the next one over, that's only like a 2-foot-ish by 8 foot, sorry, sheet that I'm putting up there now. And that's just the way that I staggered the seams a little bit. I don't know if it was really even necessary. I just decided to have a little bit of a stagger, just the way that I had material too. I was kind of running low on 4x8 sheets, so I thought if I staggered it a certain way, then a lot of the offcuts would be able to be used. And then this strip going down the middle, I kind of decided to do it that way just because it would flow right into where the mounting points are for the garage door. So where it's going through, they're tied into the collar ties, and they were tied into the rafters before I put the collar ties in. So I had to disconnect them from the rafters, reconnect them to the collar ties. And I didn't really want to mess around a whole lot with trying to disconnect them and then reconnect them after putting the OSB up. I just wanted to put the OSB up and just make notches around it. So you'll see me coming down there. And then once I get to that, that's a lot of little intricate work that you got to do, where I'd mark it out and I'd be really close, but it'd be too tight. So then I have to take it back down, trim some off, and then trying to keep everything so that it fits nice and flush when nothing squares, also tricky. So you won't see me get all these on here. I kind of ended up finishing that section off camera. But you'll kind of see me, I'll do this last little strip over on the far side, and that pretty much will give you a good idea of how all this went up. And this here's the final pieces going up. I ended up cutting out the positive or negative, however you want to think of it. I cut out the wrong side anyway, so I had to do this first piece twice, because the part that was supposed to go in between the 2x4, the way it would cope, I cut out that piece when I should have left it. So it took me a little while to get all that dialed in, because once I did that once, then I wanted to be extra careful not to do it again. And then the subsequent piece, you'll see me kind of stand there for a couple seconds thinking about, just to make sure I didn't get everything backwards. Yeah, right there. And then once this piece goes in, that's pretty much it. And then I'll just do a little wrap up of where I'm at and what I'm going to be doing next. Just these two pieces here, they're already cut to size. I just got to put the rest of the insulation in, the vapor barrier, put up the two pieces of OSB. But before I do any of that, I still want to get the electrician to come by and take a look to see order of operations of how he wants to go about doing that. But that's a big part. And then the second big part is I got to dig a trench too, so that he can put a splitter in at the house, run the splitter line all the way over here and wire in the new panel. So I got to dig an 18-inch trench from basically right where the feed goes into the house to where the feed goes into the shop here. And at the foot of the house, they poured a crappy slab. So I got to bust that slab all up into pieces. And I already started. I dug a little trench around it and started breaking it up to see how hard it is. But I think what I'm going to do next is take my angle grinder with a masonry bit, and I'm going to just score a bunch of lines, and then I'm going to just try pounding the crap out of it with a sledge and seeing if I can get it all busted up. If I get all that busted up, then I think that will be good probably for today. And then it's just digging this 18-inch trench, probably, I don't even know how far it is, 40, 50 feet. So far around the concrete pad, it's all pretty loose, but I'll show you that now. Okay, we're out back of the garage there. So that's the feed into the garage. And we're going over to that concrete pad there. So all the way along here is where the trench has got to go. So I already started digging out the sides of it, but I'll just run a bunch of lines with the angle grinder, a bunch of different ways, and then just start smashing it. So I'll probably set up time lapse there and show you how that goes.